Welcome to the NAMB Podcast, where we bring you the voices that drive the mortgage industry. Join dynamic hosts Ginger Bell and Matt Shields as they dive into bold conversations with top experts, industry leaders, and change makers from across the country. From insider insights to game-changing trends, this is your front row seat to what's happening right now in the world of home finance.
Well, hi there. Welcome to the NAMB Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell. I have my co-host with me, Matt Shields. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Ginger, I am doing great. I'm so excited for our guest today.
I am too. We have the one and only Mr. Jim Nabors, who is our current president of the National Association of Mortgage Professionals. And welcome, Jim. We are so happy to have you here. I feel like we need some special music for you. It's like I think of Jim Nabors, and I just think of just that comfortable person who's leading us and directing us and all of that. So Jim, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with, first of all, this is not your first time as NAMB president. This is actually your second time around. And I was actually, as I was researching kind of your history, and the last time you were president, 2006, we were talking about GFE reform. And so that was the last time. And then you came back, what did you say, every 19 years? Is that it?
Every 19 years, I think that's so. Yeah. Wouldn't be bad. There's a big difference between coming president in 2005 and 2024. I mean, it was
yeah,
pretty big, you know.
Yeah, different. Yeah, definitely different times back then. And so I want to really start off with some of the things that NAMB has brought into existence over the past year during your tenure. One is obviously the NAMB Young Professionals that Matt is a part of. And so share with some of the other things that were on your initiative as far as things to do for your tenure.
Well, I guess I broke it down into a bunch of different categories, but number one, of course, is the reason in the early 90s I joined NAMB was for protection, which was a nice way of saying that the government can either regulate you out of business or legislate you out of business. And I was a victim of that in Ohio back in 1989 when they wanted to make it illegal to be paid to be a mortgage broker. You could be one, you just couldn't get paid. But, coming in this second time, what were our goals? Double our membership. We did double our membership.
Nice.
We added 10 industry partners that came from other groups or came into the industry and wanted to be part of NAMB. We formed the Young Professionals, which I'm not going to take credit for. That was Mike Farrell's idea, and he got together with Matt Shields, and who's not the next generation, but the generation after the generation of leaders in NAMB, because we're planning ahead. In education, I wanted to add more instructors and more classes, and we've done that. We have our first female in Lauren, who's also from Ohio, that's now credited and can teach the CLVS class along with Jeff Wilson and Rick Benacourt and Doug Braden from Colorado. We've expanded that. The credit class will roll out before the end of September, and because we wanted to have more classes, we wanted to make the NMLS class. I'm going to say more interesting when it's hard to be more interesting. When the NMLS decides that every year you're going to spend 3 hours on how to fill out a CE and a CD. I'm beginning to believe that maybe just go back to the good faith estimate and go back to the the loan closing statement might be easier, because the good faith estimate was one page, and the loan estimate is, depending on how many people you got, is at least 4, 8, 12. How many pages they've determined. So working on that, trying to just to put more to get more state affiliates so that
Mhm.
they have a say in, what they need to do to grow as each state grows. And we've added, I think, 6 affiliated states, the last one being California, which was, a couple of year project. So, and that went pretty good. And then, we got to grow NAMPAC, and that continues to just, we're not going to, we're not going to hit home runs there. We're not going to get people to write us $3,000, $5,000 checks. But the goal is to get more people to understand that it helps us in our voice, and
Right.
to
Well,
get
let's
more.
talk about that a little bit, because a lot of people, there's the NAMB membership, and there's a lot of benefits as far as being a NAMB member. But one of the things that when I first joined NAMB, that it really just impressed me, Jim, so much, and blew me away at the details that happen behind the scenes that you don't pay attention to, and that's the NAMPAC and the lobbying. So talk to us a little bit about what is the NAMPAC.
Well, NAMPAC is it is a separate organization than NAMB, but it is affiliated with NAMB.
Right.
So NAMB doesn't run NAMPAC, but NAMPAC works with NAMB. So the president is to pick the chairman, but all the fundraising and stuff is for legal purposes is done on their own, but NAMB promotes NAMPAC. I actually got involved. That was the first thing I got involved in 1994. Mm-hmm. And we didn't do it very well back then. If you came out of a meeting and you gave me $20, I was the co-chair. The chairman, Suzanne Taube, would give you a hug. Mm-hmm. That was our entire fundraising plan. And it was not very successful, although we raised about $12,000 a year.
Right.
It was terrible. Then when I became NAMPAC chair, the first thing my co-chair said is, no one's going to give us $20 to hug you. So what's your plan? And my plan was, we're going to take MasterCard, Visa, American Express. We don't want less than $99. And we're going to start offering you something for it. So we've done raffles, we've done auctions, we've done golf outings, we've done other events to expand NAMPAC. And that money it doesn't buy votes. Mm-hmm. But what you want to do, it's totally bipartisan.
Right.
Which, again, my first meeting, I went to I went to visit when I went to the Hill at our lunch conference, and I went to visit Congressman Louis Stokes, who was chairman of the Black Congressional Caucus from Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I'm like, okay, I'll go here. And he sat me down. He had a nice office. He sat me down. This is my first visit to any congressman. And he goes over on his desk and he hands me our NAMPAC filing report. And this was 1994. And he goes, can you find one Republican you've given any money to? Now, keep in mind, in 1994, it was President Clinton. The Democrats controlled the House. The Democrats controlled the Senate. We had never given any money to a Democrat. The learning I came back, he said, go talk to your Republican friends. I came back and said, we are now bipartisan, and we've been bipartisan. We support people that support our issues, that can advance our issues, and that is bipartisan.
Exactly.
If you look at the Home Buyers Privacy Protection Act, that was bipartisan. Senator Jack Reed from Rhode Island is a Democrat. He introduced it in the Senate. Congressman John Rose in the House, who introduced it there, is a Republican. And that bill was passed unanimously by both houses.
Right.
And I truly never believed that you could get everybody in Congress to agree whether it was raining or not. Everyone in Congress agreed, this was a problem. That's time. It needed to be fixed, because many of them had been victims, or family members had been victims, and constituents had been victims of, the trigger leads issues.
Right.
So, so NAMPAC,
and that's an important thing.
So I'm going that way.
Yeah, and that's part of it, because they go hand in hand. So it's that the NAMPAC provides, the support, and then to be able to have, people go and talk to congressmen and talk to the House committees and to have that voice, having that voice in Washington and on the state level as well, because that's the thing, you're talking about increasing our states chapters. And that's important because there's issues that are happening. I'm in Oregon, in the state of Oregon, just like you have in Ohio, that we need to pay attention to as well. So
Right.
it's not just on a national level, it's also on a state level. So being aware of these is important. And that awareness, let's talk about the trigger leads, because that just recently passed. And it was something that I know NAMB was instrumental in making sure that the information went out. So you send out information advising people to respond to their local congressman, right? And so those are things. So when that happens,
Yes.
and for those of you who are listening, this is the benefit of being involved with an association, because you're aware of the things that are happening. They're going to keep you apprised. You're going to know when to take action. And that action is critical because those votes are made at the level of your congressmen and your senators. So it happens at a state level. It doesn't just it's ONDC. No. This is you where you are, the state you're in. So paying attention to that is important. So walk me through what happened, because I loved watching everything that was happening with the Trigger Leagues bill. First of all, how long was that in from the time that it started? It didn't just happen overnight.
No, it's been an issue since back in 2018.
Right.
In 2023, NAMB introduced the first Trigger Leads bill with Congressman Richie Torres from New York. The NBA wasn't totally happy with it, so they got John Rose to introduce a companion bill, and that bill did get passed. Eventually, they went together. They made some adjustments to it, and Congressman Torres, Congressman Rose worked together, and did get it through the House before the end of the session of last year. No, they didn't get it through. It came close. It was part of the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, and then finally part of the continuing resolution. I remember the one day I was told at 4:00 it was in, and at 5:00 it's out. Meanwhile, over on the other side, Senator John Reed had gotten it passed unanimously. So this time, when the new Senate House comes in together, this is the way we feel is the best, a coalition of every interest group to come to. Whenever you put a coalition together, not everybody's going to get everything they want.
Right.
But it's you get the majority. If you can get the majority of what you want, and there's some things you can live to. But so House Bill 1815, there was a coalition that I have NAMB's in, the NBA's in, the ABA, the American Bankers Association, BAC is in, the Veterans United is part of. The ICBA, which is the Independent Community Bankers Association, which a lot of people, they don't even know what that is, but that's in outside communities. You're not in the big city of Cleveland. Your bank is 80 miles out, and it's just a small community bank.
Tip in Ohio.
The credit unions, which they've changed their names 2 or 3 times, and even the AARP was part of the coalition to make this a reality this time. So, so those people truly interested in ending trigger leads were part of the bill, and even some lenders. At least a half a dozen lenders were part of the coalition, saying, "Hey, look, the time to end this is now." So, working together as a group, us visiting our, as we always say, we used to say boots on the ground, but since we've been in so many wars, it's like we have feet on the ground. We go visit people, we knock on doors, and that's what we get our states to do. We have a ledge conference, but we also not only want them to talk to, and just using this as an example, because the people you're talking to might have been a state senator, or might have been your state rep, or maybe your county commissioner. And all of a sudden, if you build a rapport with them back then, now you have one. I hate to throw out 2005, 2006, but John Boehner was a congressman in Ohio. And the next thing I know is, and before that, he was a state senator in Ohio when we were working on legislation with the Ohio Association of Mortgage Professionals. And now he's the Speaker of the House, but we already know him because we knew him when we were just attending his golf outings. And we developed relations early. And so that's what we want to do with our states, is promote states so that they get involved with their congressmen, and that, some states are good at it, some aren't. Ohio does really a good job at it. I know that Mike Farrow, who's the chairman of the Ohio Association till September 30th, just attended Director Pulte and Senator Moreno had a roundtable discussion in Cincinnati on LLPA, AMA, insurance, all the issues that NAMB is concerned about. And naturally, interest rates, when are they going to come down? And the only part of that the director has any say in is LLPAs, loan level pricing adjustments, because they were put in from the previous director. He controls those. Now, we don't know where he's going to go on that, but at least it's on. We gave him all the information we could. So, but that's the biggest thing NAMB can do is we want to offer. We believe anybody that's a mortgage loan originator is a member of NAMB. Some pay dues and some don't. Well, let's face it. The minority pay dues, the majority enjoy the benefits. Yeah. Everyone is going to benefit from the Homeowners Privacy Protection Act. Just like in 2006, you had to be, as a loan originator, you had to be paid minimum wage and overtime. You had to work in the office, and maybe you got a commission. Well, we spent 9 months working with the Department of Labor to get it where loan originators, outside classification loan originators, could get paid just a commission. Think how business is different now than 2005. How many people wouldn't even be in this business if the guy that owned the shop had to pay you minimum wage and overtime, and you had to come and work in the office every day?
Yep.
Completely different
people
environment.
would have gotten the business.
Yeah.
It's completely different now, where, basically, you're working for someone under their license, but even the development of the licenses, NAMB was involved in helping them put the licenses together. They started talking about the NMLS. They started, that's an association that was put together, or a group that was put together between the Council of State Banking Supervisors and ARMOR, who are the regulators for the finance companies, put that whole thing together. And when they first presented it, the states were like, no, we're not going to, this is terrible. We don't want this. Then the mortgage meltdown came, and it was like, okay, well, who we do? And they already had this, the framework put together for national licensing. I know I'm from Ohio, you're from Oregon. Matt was still in high school back then, but back then, you had state licensing. We had our first state license in 1996 in Ohio. It was the first time mortgage brokers were licensed. And then continuing ed came in 2 years later. But if you look at now, you have the 8 hours of continuing education for anyone who's licensed by the NMLS. And in some states, it's more like Florida, you got to do an extra hour. Or in Kentucky, you got to do an extra hour. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Yeah, but NAMB puts those classes together so that our states and our members can do them.
Yeah.
So we work together as a team, and I think, we're now looking at LO compensation.
So let's talk about that, because, we have that already. We know the CFPB has obviously been not dismantled, but definitely, losing some of its legs. However, there is a lot of conversations, and a focus in 2026 will be on LO comp. So what can you share about that?
Well, either compensation is going to go up, going to stay, or go down.
Yeah, sounds about right.
We don't know. But they have made it. I mean, it is something that something's gonna happen with it. We're just not sure what. So being involved is important.
Yes, and it is. I think the next thing that this will, I'm kind of happy will fall under Kimber White's presidency more than mine. I don't think it's going to be settled by the end of September. No. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that that whatever the plan is, that it's transparent and it's fair and people understand. Okay, it's not just how much a lender could pay, but also a mortgage originator. The original, when they first came out, if the loan was short any kind of money, the originator or the lender weren't in their original proposal when they first put comp into play, couldn't say, okay, you know what, I'll pay $350 of the title insurance. You couldn't do that. You had to turn down the loan and start all over again. Right. That made absolutely no sense. But you had to make sure that what you were disclosing matched what it said on the sheet. So now, they made some adjustments, and we want to make sure that that's not that doesn't disappear, that stays in place.
Yeah,
and that we want to, so we are constantly, and the determining factor of what the compensation should look like. We've heard everything from there should be a minimal fee, and we've already heard there should be a maximum someone could make, and we truly believe that we should let the market play out. That what the borrower is, the borrower is paying us. What is acceptable to them is the way it should be. And so we'll be monitoring this. We want clarity, we want guidance from the government, but we don't want them to just go off and not have all the information. Because if you just said, for example, this is how much you can only make this amount, and what you'll find out is it's interesting because we are growing the percentage of loans originated by mortgage brokers is increasing every month. Now, it capped out in 2008, right before the mortgage meltdown, at 70% of loans originated in this country were done by mortgage brokers and their staff. We're now over 60% are originated by mortgage brokers and mortgage bankers and their originators. It's people aren't walking into Chase to get a mortgage loan. Okay, they're talking to, and again, something we're promoting is how do we help you? Our whole communications department, technology. How do we help you generate more loans?
Right.
And I love all those webinars that I sit through on how to do AI and stuff like that. But we are generating those loans and that business, and we want to make sure that they understand, that the CFPB understands, and doesn't say, okay, well, you know what, we're going to cut your compensation to this, and then all of a sudden, who's going to go into, again, I'm from Cleveland, who's going to go into the inner city of Cleveland? Who wants to make a $30,000 loan that they might make $150 on, and have to put more time and effort than they do into? And again, I'm from Cleveland. If it's a $450,000 house, it's a really, really, really nice house.
Yeah.
Might not be much in California or Florida where it's $1.5 million, $2 million. But that's probably a 3,600 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, finished basement, 3-car garage house on a third of an acre in Cleveland and the suburbs of Cleveland. So it's all the areas are different. And sometimes I think they just look at a percentage and they don't think about how's this actually going to impact people.
Right.
It's like the AMI, AMI, needs to get back to 130, and Congressman Flood and Congressman Cleaver, again, bipartisan, are working to get that percentage moved back to 130% of the average monthly income, so that more people, fall into that category and can qualify for more affordable housing.
Yeah,
And
which
NAMB
is a big
working on
issue
that
we
issue.
have. Yeah, that's a huge issue.
Huge issue.
Right
Yes. Yeah. And, but from that standpoint, we are working with as many people as we can. We're all on the same side. We all want to advance the industry. Doesn't matter which group you belong to. If there's people that like us, there are people that don't like us, and that's fine too. But that's been my goal, is to get people to realize sometimes it's not who gets the credit, does the job get done.
Yep.
Amen.
Okay. With Trigger Link, does NAMB want to try to take all the credit and push a bill through only with them, or would they rather be part of a coalition? And hey, it happened. It's more important that the thing get passed than who got the credit. It benefits the consumer and benefits us.
Yep.
And we work collectively, and that's the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
Jim, you've given so much back to our industry over the years, the blood, sweat, tears, and you forgot more about mortgages than probably I've learned. So I love hearing you talk. It's always amazing hearing your stories, and I always walk away learning some things, and just always a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, I've been very lucky. I fell into NAMB purely by accident. When they were going to put Ohio mortgage brokers out of business, at the same time I was getting my license as a mortgage broker instead of just working for another mortgage broker, and found out about it. But through the years, how many people get to meet the President of the United States?
Not often.
And I got photos with him. I met President Clinton for the first time at an event that we were one of the founders of, the New Democratic Network, which was the pro-democratic network. And I had nothing. We didn't really have an issue. So I asked him where he's going to surprise, and probably edit this out. I asked the president where he's going to live when he was no longer president, because he'd only lived in public housing. He was governor, and then he became president. Didn't own a home.
Yeah.
And he said, "Where do you think I'm going to live?" And I'm like, "California," because that's where Gerald Ford moved. And I figured that's where Chelsea's in college. And his answer to me was, "I'm going to talk to Hill about this when I get home." I thought, okay, well, that was a nice comeback for him. After the event, the two sponsors, Joe Lieberman and Cal Weibel, came up and said, "Are you the guy that asked the president where he's going to live?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, "That's all he talked about at dinner." This is and I'm like, I walked out of there thinking, and when he was walking out, he comes up and he goes, "B, I don't know where I'm going to live, but I made one decision. I'm not moving to Cleveland." And I'm like, "That's okay. We don't want you."
Wow.
I love it. And then that gives you those opportunities.
But then, to meet President Bush, and so just the opportunity to meet so many, to meet both Bushes, to meet Reagan, to meet President Trump before he was president, when he was when he owned Trump Mortgage, and to meet him back then, it's just. Yeah, you normally don't get this, but at the same time, you make sacrifices if you're going to get involved. Like Matt, you're now in that baby's 2 months old.
5 months now. 5 months.
Yes,
it's flying.
5 months. Okay, 5 months old. Pretty soon it's going to be moving around, and you're going to be chasing it. So
that's right.
And but that's some of the you have to look at, okay, what am I going to do? What's most important?
Yeah.
But to me, family always comes first.
Yep.
And I look at NAMB. NAMB is a family, and the NAMB board is like your immediate family. And I think we've been very lucky, the NAMB board, whether it's Ray Edwards in education or Ross Miller keeping track of our finances, or we've added like 17 industry partners that have stuff to do with technology. And I know nothing about technology, but thank God Steve Scott, who's our chairman, does.
Yeah.
Like podcast, I watched one podcast before this, and it was the one with the Kelsey brothers, just so I'd see what a podcast looked like. And I know I'm not Taylor Swift, but it was a nice podcast that they had going. So
they got engaged today. Don't know if you saw the breaking news, but
they did.
You know what? Engaged a bit ago.
We're hoping they're going to get married in Ohio instead of Tennessee, because she's from Tennessee and the Kelsey brothers are from Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, stay tuned for that one. So you guys, we could keep this going on forever. But Jim, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your commitment. We truly appreciate all that you've done and continue to do, because it's not like you're stepping down. You're past president. So I know that you will still be involved and we'll be seeing you at things. So thank you so much for that. Matt, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Jim, we're going to see you at NAMB National when you're passing the torch on, right?
Yep,
Okay.
You'll see me at NAMB National, and Matt will see me in about 3 weeks when I'm teaching this continuing ed for the NMLS.
I'll see you soon.
Very good. Well, good.
He'll be in that class because he's in Ohio. So, but
there you go.
And if I babbled too much, I apologize.
No, not at all. We appreciate all the information. It is absolutely fabulous. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in. This has been the latest episode of the NAMB Podcast. You can find our other episodes at nambpodcast.com, and make sure and join the NAMB Hive and join NAMB. So thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the NAMB Podcast, brought to you by the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. For more episodes, resources, and guest interviews, visit nambpodcast.com. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.